Mm-hmm.
Oh, hello. Hello, hello, hello. This is Dirty 20 Gaming. My name is Kevin, and these amazing people have agreed to join me tonight to play a game, and that makes me happy. Wave people waving and everything. Okay. So we're going to introduce those people in a minute, but we are also going to talk a brief bit about this game before I forget. We're using the Rapscallion Quick Start Guide. To be fair, is the rule set I'm using with a couple of chunks from the actual manual that some of the players have done the research for themselves to pop it up a level. But it is a spectacular little system. It uses moves and anyway, it's a wonderful system. You should try it. That's all I wanted to say. Uh, let's talk to the people. Let's start with playing Cassandra, our captain who kind of didn't want to be a captain, even though they are our most exceptional captain, played by Deku Shrublily. I wanted to use your full formal name tonight, so thank you for joining us. And what do you do
Thank
when
you
you're
for
not here?
running. Um, I just hang around, just living.
Yeah, those are good things to do. Watching videos and playing games with us from time to time.
And
Well,
having
thank you.
fun. Don't
Oh,
forget having fun.
that is the absolute key to it all. Having fun and sharing the joy. Thank you for doing both of those with us. Let's just scoot around the circle. Next, playing Vanessa, the darkness within the darkness for us this evening. Janet, thank you for joining us. And oh,
Hi.
of all the things I did,
Hello.
I didn't grab your links yet today. So, my apologies. Tell us about where they can find you, though. They'll look.
I'm. I have YouTube and Twitch channel as Anime Gems, where I'm streaming for now conference and games, and I'm also doing reviews videos, and I hope soon play more games here.
Oh yes, we have as much as there is anything like a plan at Dirty 20 Gaming. We have a plan, and you're penciled in. So yes, there's always new stuff happening over at the channel, and you should check out our Discord to see it. As I madly type in that. There you go. Join our Discord. We're amazing people, and we're far more organized than this looks. No, we're not. We're a whole freaking room full of chaos gremlins. It's wondrous fun. It's like watching 50 spiders dancing. Anyway, sorry about the spider reference to anybody who didn't like the words. Let's talk about Ben next. Ben, the drowned man. Hello.
Okay, hello everybody. I'm Carol, nickname Brilton. Tonight I'll be playing the Devil Man who is searching for a new source of power. We'll see how it evolves for now. He has some other ideas for today, but we will see that today. That's today, that's right now. And on I forgot the name. I don't remember the name of the days in English. But another day, I
Tuesday.
play the crazy Kraken hacker in our Cyberpunk Red Carnage Heights game. It's very fun. A lot of drug use and a lot of bad trips and throwing wrenches at evil psychiatrists. So
Yes.
come there, laugh with us. It was very fun. A very cyberpunk moment style over substance. I didn't want to do it, but now I'm acting like I wanted to do that. It was a great moment. I love it. And I
Which,
think Rapscallion is made by Magpie Games,
yep, it is so.
and it's on the Power by the Apocalypse engine, but they made some adjustments for this system.
Yes, they do.
There are some changes to the rules, and they are very, very cool.
Yep.
I
And
like
then and
them.
then I got a hold of it and used about 10% of what they wrote.
But
Par
that's
for the
RPG.
course. The par for
That,
the course for me.
yeah.
Oh no, you can't say that's RPGs. I know people that know all the rules. One of
That's
them is
the
I'm
golden
about to
rule. You
introduce.
says,
The
yeah.
next person I'm about to introduce not only knows all the rules of the game that they're playing, but has built an actual world and has done backstories and is a proper fucking stand up GM. COs, tell us about your show.
I beg to differ. I do not know all the rules. I just have a lot of post-its. So, um, hi, I'm Siosa. I'm the Sunday GM for Shadow of the Walk Term, and tonight I'm playing Anchors Away, the pirate automaton who gave everybody a peace of mind last time.
But
I
then
think in
took them all
the
drinking
kindest
like
way
a
he
good
could.
officer. Yeah. Yeah.
um, but yeah, glad to be here. Hope everybody is having a good weekend. Um, and can't wait to get going tonight. So
I'm looking forward to it too. Are you guys playing tomorrow night? But with it being the weekend
Sunday,
and all? Yeah.
yep,
Okay. Cool.
yep.
Excellent. I'll
I've
remember to.
always intended that,
Yeah.
if we, I
You're
think our
right.
second or
Yes.
third episode was one person.
Yep.
So
Fair point. Yeah. So I forgot that was kind of the key element of the whole thing. You usually have 8 people, so I forgot that you'll play with any number that show up, which is a really cool thing and another thing that makes you a great GM. But let's play this game for tonight because at the end of the last one, the party was winding down. There had been a lot of crew bonding, mechanically and role playingly, as the evening progressed. And we ended up sort of all split up and going our own separate ways. Uh, let's do this in just the order I got them written down. Ben, you've had your meeting. You've been told off. You
Yes.
you went yes captain, and then
I
bounded
gave my
off.
fealty for real.
Yep,
I have a lover's spot with my head demon mate.
yep,
He went all emo teenager on me
yep.
and took some of my powers, which Ben doesn't know,
Nope,
but the
he does
player
not know yet.
knows,
But
and it will be funny.
yeah. So
But after talking with everybody and speaking his truth and thinking that Mr. Ancor is right, I'm not too good at deals, he would find a secluded spot to do a ritual because he's thinking both to himself and to his demon like uh, mate, I don't want to fight you. We need to hash this out. I got mad, you got mad, I drank some wine, and I just want to rebuild the bridges that we burned a minute or so ago. Like, we're in this together. I want to know you. What's your deal is? What's your goal, your end goal? Like, taking my
ideal.
body.
Hmm.
Yeah. I got an idea for a new deal. When I was a child, I always wanted to play a violin. I was too poor. Like, I saw the, violin players at the county fair, and then there was this one rich person, and they had a violin, and they did nothing with it. It just sat around because it was so expensive, and it was so pretty gold leaf plated. And one time I snuck into this house and tried to play it, but they captured me, and they like lashed me so hard I thought I would die. But I'm still kind of sad and mad that I cannot play in the violin, and I got to thinking like I can have devil powers now. So how about it? Could you like give me give me violin and ability to play it, and maybe I could know all the songs from the past, like from the world that Mr. Ancor speak about. There must be so many forgotten tunes that I could play for the world. It would be fun, and I don't know.
You
Sounds cool.
talked about this being a new deal, so I presume you want to start from scratch.
I think so. Or have you other
Except
propositions?
for And he stops for a second and he says, "Forget accept. How about we start all over?" And what the reason he says that is you have a current deal, memories for
Yep.
addiction.
But he doesn't know about it. He cannot know about it. Ben, the demon knows, the player knows, but Ben doesn't know.
And he cut a deal.
Yep.
Okay, you're right. In the regular, yes, in his regular day to day processing of the world, he does not know. But in this moment, he oh he doesn't
The
know. That's even more fun. Yeah.
question, though, because during the last conversation, Anchor had spoken to the demon and pointed out that if he was lying to him and selling him a lie, it broke the contract of that he always told the truth.
Yes, that's fair too.
And
Yeah.
that had shifted how Ben was processing those memories because the demon realized it had like stuck itself.
Yep. Okay.
Yes, but I
Oh,
think
oh.
subsection of that deal is now that subconsciously Ben knows, like the real Ben knows, and the part of the memory deal is that he knows but he doesn't know.
Yeah.
Like he knows that he made a deal and he cannot drink, but he thinks it's the demon
Okay.
meat
Perfect.
blood.
So, given what Ben knows, I'm not allowed to drink, and I received something,
Important reason for it.
but he would know that he received something in return for that because that's how deals work. And
Yes.
right now, the demon who has that deal with you has just said to you, a fresh start, and that means that deal, whatever you know about it, would be gone.
Oh. Oh
That's
no,
the
no.
that's the that's the single horn. It's a unicorn. It doesn't need a dilemma. A dilemma this good doesn't need a second horn. It just needs the one.
No,
If you want your deal, if you want your, because a deal's a deal, and he's a dealer. So if you want your golden violin, which will have its own condition, you have to give up the deal you've currently got going.
no. I think the one thing that subconscious Ben knows
Uh huh.
is that he doesn't want to break the deal. So
Okay.
no.
Oh, okay. So he said, all right, so we'll leave that one in place then. You still don't know what it is, but it's still in place. You
Yes,
still have the happy
but
childhood memories, yeah?
I think that
But,
subconsciously
yeah,
Ben wants that to stay. Like he
but,
doesn't know why, but he knows he wants that.
and in front of you, an image, like a 3D, like a hologram of
Yep.
this beautiful gold and silver and platinum violin floats in the air. And he says, before you grab it, every time you play a note, and for as long as you play for, it will do wondrous things. But it will also negate our other deal for the duration.
Okay.
So if you play it,
Yes.
the deal's gone. So for the out of
And
out
the
of
memories
character,
come back.
every time you play it, all
Yeah.
the horrible memories of your childhood are going to come pouring back.
Yes, I love it.
And then as soon as you stop,
I
gone
adore
again.
this idea.
Okay. Do you accept?
Let's have all the I's and T's dotted, as Cassandra would say. Golden violin, the ability to play it really good.
Yes.
Songs from the past.
Yes.
And one more thing. I heard stories of folks doing deals with leviathans or some magical beasts to control creatures like fish, rats with music, like pipers they call them. It's a whole thing.
But there are
Could
no
we do
fish, there are
something
no
like
rats.
that?
What would you control?
Chickens, birds. Birds are cool, like
At
seagulls.
the mention of the word chicken, you hear the equivalent of a snort laugh. Like they snort so loud that they're laughing and snorting at the same time.
And Ben would start to laugh as well. It's just such a fun idea.
And the violin becomes solid and hangs in the air in front of you, impossibly heavy, of course, because it's mostly gold. And
Yes, but could I add that add the what was the name of the griffin or of the violin? I think it's called the part at the
bit that goes on your shoulder.
yeah, it's like this one. It's like when the bow starts, it has a chicken head
Oh,
for
okay. Okay. Yeah,
because
the bow.
chickens,
Okay. Yeah. All right.
and he would grab
Do
it.
you accept? And
I accept.
yeah, you get the sort of the
There is
Windows
a
thing
ding.
where you, as you touch it, you see by the using this, you accept the following contract, and
Yeah,
there's a bang through your system as you take it. As you do,
and
it appears it wraps itself in a case of almost Vanta black leather. It's so black you kind of have to you put your hand where it doesn't look like it is to find the case.
yeah, I love it.
Okay.
So I think that would be a scene for
Yeah.
now. And go
Absolutely.
to someone else. It was great. Thank you very much,
And
Kevin.
mechanically speaking, what we did is just leveled you up a layer and took a new ability.
Yes.
So let's move on. Just because the order I got them written down in, Cassandra, asleep in your bunk, or no, in the library, right?
She has a hammock in the library.
Yes,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, the book hammock. Oh, that's what I want to call a bookstore now. And I want to live there forever, and nobody's allowed to come in but me. Never mind. So yes, you're in your happy places. I think the point I was getting to, and the Pointy's book, your book, sort of does its typical rattle on the table when it wants to get a hold of you.
Eh. Eh.
Yeah, it's just like an alarm clock being a pain in the ass over at the table. Yeah.
Yeah, but she's all the way in. Like I imagine the only place to hang a hammock is like in one of the corners.
Yeah.
So she's a distance away from the table, so she kind of just rolls out of the hammock and onto the floor with a thump,
Yeah.
which wakes her up more than the book.
Yeah. Yep.
And then
And
she kind of shuffles over, rubbing at her eyes, and opens it up.
and there's Pointy's big happy face, like pressed right up against the book page. So all you can see is like his face and a little bit of his hat. And just you can see the tip of his wand sticking up. He's holding it up like this. He's got a great big grin on his face, and he's holding a cup of tea. And he does this, and the tea comes out through the page, and as it does, it converts into a full size cup of tea for you.
She accepts and thanks him.
Oh, oh, thank you for having. It's my own blend. It's mostly chamomile. Um, yes, let's just leave it at that. It's mostly chamomile. I was wondering. I saw how good you were in the book here, and by the way, the book has been very well behaved since you busted me out of jail. Thank you for that. I appreciate it very much. It's kind of well, freeing is the obvious word, but that doesn't really tell you much more than you already knew, did it? That's not why I'm here. Um, I saw what you could do in here, and I was wondering if you'd like to, make your own book.
I mean, I suppose so. I would like some other kind of spell that I can use to help in combat. But the thing is, I don't really know how to do that. Because, like,
Well, what's a captain's job in combat?
give orders?
And before that, after that, during that, all the time, what are you responsible for? Safety.
My safety. That was not my gut reaction, I will not lie.
Well, luckily you've got me, dear. So old I've done it all twice. Um, so if I may be so bold, perhaps we should write a chapter or two about how you're going to protect your crew. You can already light things on fire. You can already make things very wet and soggy and wavy. What else should you be able to do? What else would you like to be able to do?
Either strengthen my allies so they can beat things up more, or protect them from harm.
Well, I've seen. Well, I've heard, seen, sort of. I it's very strange being in a book because I can kind of see through the covers, but sometimes I can't. And sometimes even when I'm not there, I'm there, and it's very odd. But from what I understand, the three main members of your crew might as well be called the Kick-Ass Triplets. Sorry for swearing, dear.
Pointy, I'm a sailor. I've heard them all. And probably some you haven't learned yet.
Oh dear. And he kind of goes a little bit red above his beard. I don't think I want to know. Grew up in a
You don't.
Ivory Castle, Ivory Castle, Ivory Castle, Ivory Castle. Oh, you're done. Okay. Um, so protecting them, perhaps, from what? What?
In general, just harm, but I suppose I need to distinguish between physical harm and magic harm if we're going to be dealing with zombies and demons.
You know the best
Although
part about
it's.
words? Sorry to interrupt. The best part about words is they can mean whatever you bloody want them to. That's the big secret, these magic books. People spend decades trying to figure it out. Not what are you worried it won't do? What does it do? What is the number one danger you expect between here and the end of your mission?
mm, It's a toss up between the zombies and the demons. At least for most of the zombies, we have that little drum that will control the shufflers. And the bolters themselves, mm, they're they're only as dangerous as the ambush they set. As long as we're vigilant, they're not that much of a problem. And also, individually, they're not that bad. So numbers will be a problem. But even more dangerous than those are those demon zombies that seem to be based on bolters and act and think, and yeah, they're really dangerous.
So,
I mean, one of them one of them nearly took Anchor out, and two of them very nearly took Anchor out.
so perhaps, demons and their workings might be a title. And
Yeah,
he's trying to sort of walk you up to things. He wants you to make the decisions, but he's also, it's like going to the library and them watching you figure out the Dewey Decimal System for yourself. Right? That's what he's doing. To use a book reference. I just wanted to make it clear because I heard the voice in my own head and he sounded a little bit snotty and I didn't mean him to. So I wanted to clarify.
while she's thinking aloud, she says, I almost want to dissect one of those things. Like, how does this thing even come to be? Come to, for that matter, how do the zombies come to be?
And he backs up so you can see more of him. And now he changes because he can. He's now dressed as a scribe and he's got a scroll and a big floofy quill and some ink, and he writes down Chapter 1: Their Innards and Workings.
Yeah, like all of these things are being made somehow, and that goop is important to it for some reason.
Chapter 2: Weakening the Goop. He's just scribbling away. And you're right. The demons are full of goop. The demon zombies are full of goop. If you can affect the goop, you can affect them both.
Um, have we seen goop coming out of the normal zombies?
Uh, you were told by the zombies that that goop was what made the other. It is, well, the title is Demons and Their Works. So, yeah.
I also, as Vanessa told my students of this course,
Yes, yeah,
like it's boring and
yeah,
it's only this demon zombie.
yeah. So, yes, thank you, Vanessa. So, yes, Cassandra, you would know if you cut open a demon, they might not be full of this stuff, but they somehow make it, excrete it, cause it to be something like that. It is of them. So if you can affect it, you will affect them. It's sort of their essence. And they put a bit of it in each one of these zombies to take them over. And sometimes it goes, sometimes they listen and sometimes they don't.
And it's a morning. It's so thick.
Yeah. So. Yes, if we can affect that. Vanessa's done a bunch of studying on that. And this is where um, to write normally to do the long form version of writing your book, this would be where you'd roll. You'd be told that you had to go do something or find something to make the book work, right?
Uh, yeah, it's part of the wordsmith ability
Yep.
that comes with the chronicler.
So
Let's see.
you would
Write a
be
book during downtime, tell the fates what the book is about and what I want it to do. I get a quest
yes.
selecting from a list. And depending on how powerful this book is, I have to do like 4 or 5.
Mhm.
Anywhere from 1 to 5, I think, if
Yep.
I'm reading this correctly.
That's what I was under the impression as well. So, but in this case, the quest is already done because the quest is, of course, to weaken the goop. You have to understand the goop. To understand the goop, you have to have analyzed the goop. You happen to have Vanessa's goop analysis report right on the table here because they gave it to you. So that is the instead of having to go and find something, it's right here. Nobody said the side quest had to be long and difficult. Uh,
At
and
least in this game.
yes, so
Chronicler is
yeah,
just speaking above table. The Chronicler is kind of a was kind of a bad pick for a short game like this.
yeah, they're
And I went into
typically
this knowing that.
yeah, they're usually 3 or 4 sort of downtimes to get something done. But we're going to get it done in one because I hate leaving character abilities unused. So we're just going to bend the rules until it works.
Maybe you could take the skin from the zombie demons that Anchor killed to make a leather bound for your new book.
We're making we'll get to that part. But I want to finish the actual book first. So you sort of in my head you sort of hold up that document, and Pointy in the book is scribing it all down, note for note into the book and getting the information in there. As that soaks into the page, you can feel the book sort of in your hands, and Pointy says, Cauldron, fire pit. What's your preferred method of destruction, Captain? At the end, and he kind of giggles. What are we going to do to the goop?
I believe water was most effective. Like you could wash it away and the water would neutralize it.
and the demons would not willingly cross the water. So yes, just I love it. So how do you erect the goop with good, clean, flowing water? Let's steal a little from the vampire tech. Does that work for you?
That works.
Okay. Oh, and the next step falls. This is another place where we'd go. And now you must go on a second side quest. Except you got a book. It's in this book actually. It's another chapter in Pointy's book about how to control water. This book is literally a hose. So that's your next quest finished. You did all the quests before you knew they were quests. This is still working. Right?
I mean, good
yeah.
old video game logic. Sometimes you just go exploring and you pick up a thing.
Yeah.
You don't know what the thing is for, and then
Yeah.
it's just sitting in your inventory. And then you talk to just the right person, and they're like, "Hey, I need thing."
Yeah. Yes.
I never forget a line in Pink Panther Hocus Pocus game where he put big pot of hot water into pocket and he said, "It's not better thing in the world than hot water pot full in pocket."
Toasty.
okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. And with that, and not having to roll any rolls because you had all the stuff, so there's no need to roll for success when you've already succeeded. The only question that was touched on briefly before is you're about to watch your book be created. I'm not going to be any. I've got an idea in my head, but I don't want to be more specific than that right now. What does it look like when I'm done? Because I want to do the reveal. It's your book, so what does your book of controlling zombies and goop look like?
Sandra is not one for frills or ornamentation.
Yeah,
She's a very practical sort. I think this book is magic, so it's going to be protected against all manner of like water and stuff anyway.
yeah,
And these things are supposed to be made with Leviathan ink, which she does have in
yep.
her kit.
Mhm.
Um,
What does the cover look like?
what does it look like? I see blue leather,
Yeah,
I guess,
the water. Yeah.
and
What color's
I
the writing on the spine? Break it down for me.
I imagine red to stand out against the blue.
okay.
And on the cover is like I watched on YouTube this video of a guy making books medieval style, and he takes these like embossing tools to the
Yep.
front of leather covers and like just draws stuff in the
Yeah.
leather like that.
Yep.
So I think that's cool. And it's just
Is it the title? Is it an image? It's the last thing. What is embossed on the covers?
I just kind of want like a demon kneeling on one knee, like trying to shield itself from something up above, like kind of medieval style, like, oh
Yes.
no!
Oh, I love it. Yes. Beautiful. Okay. Thank you. I put you on the spot there, and you came through with flying colors. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pointy's book, as he looks up as he finishes writing, and he says, "I've just got. Can you close the top? It's kind of like a copier. It only works when the top's closed. You don't know what a
She
copier is, but yeah,
she does as requested.
yeah. The book closes when it does. It's almost like suction. It's kind of it sucks itself shut at the end, and then inside you hear this thumping and banging and you've heard the sound before. There's a printing press going on inside the book. So a book that was printed is now printing a book, and it goes on for quite a while, and the book kind of bounces around on the table, and dun, 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 and grind. You can see it all moving. It's just getting slightly bigger all the time it's doing it, and then finally at the end there's a clang, like something breaks, and then there's a bit of steam comes up all the way around the cover as that suction breaks. And as you open the lid, opens itself. No, sorry, you always have to open the lid. That's the rule. But yeah, you see the lid pop and it's no longer sealed.
You open it up.
And you know the old books that they used to hide booze in, like it's cut away in the center, and there's a bottle inside there,
Yeah.
or a little gun. It's like that, but it's a book inside the book. So this is really starting to look like a surreal painting, right? There's your book with the demon doing this, not this, but this, the fighting off the sort of reflected blue water that's coming down at them. Um, on the cover, and the little bits of gilt around the edge, and then the name written in red, demon, in the version of Latin that says "demons and their works be gone" or something to that effect.
Demons and their workings.
Demons and their workings. Yeah. I tried to, but I don't have the Latin. I know Malleus Maleficarum is hammer of the witches, but I do not have the Latin to do the rest of it. But but Pointy does. So there is your book, but you still have to make it real. It's almost a flashback to Ben's violin. It's not gonna. I've been reading lots of sci-fi later. You're not gonna collapse the state vector until you touch it. There we go. Demones es operanes. Yeah. Demons and their workings. So to make it real, to make it yours, to charge it, to engage the magic, you have to lift it out of the book.
I do so.
As you do, there's a tingle and a sort of a zort as you take it out. The book closes itself because it can do that. Dunk. And as it does, it shrinks back to its original state. And you could tell now if you opened it, it would just be a normal book again. But there is one more thing that I remember about books. And that is that there is always a, sometimes small, but always a price to pay when you cast the magic in them. What does, besides trying to suck you in and take you over like every book with any magical power, what happens to you when you use this book?
Hmm.
How about I leave you with that and remind me, and you can tell me what that is. You don't, maybe Cassandra doesn't know yet until you actually cast the magic, but there's a thought for, is it okay if I leave you with that?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay,
Thank
perfect.
you.
You're very welcome. Thank you for that scene. I enjoyed that a lot. We just compressed like 4 downtimes into one. I love it. And kind of made it work. Next, let's go with Vanessa. Because your demon is having a hissy fit. He's basically like a teenager, stormed off to his room because you won't kind of deal with him.
Yes,
Um,
and I'm
yeah.
shrive and yelling, come out and speak to me, little Emo.
And the door opens up in your head. You can feel it, and you can. I mean, you can't see them, but again, they're this right because your demon is kind of like Smeagol or Gollum, right? It's just kind of what.
You wanted deal, so I'm listening. What deal? And behave as adult and mature. You are older than me and behave as teenagers.
You're right. I got mad because you said no more times than the last 10 people I've possessed.
They weren't me.
That. Sorry, I'm not doing the voice. That is That is a fair assessment. They are definitely not you. Rather than offering a deal, perhaps you make the offer? And you can tell that hurts. That hurts on a deep emotional level to be the person. It's like a lawyer telling their client, "You tell me what this says," instead of me telling you.
Okay, but I'm not sure what you would like in exchange.
Well, what do you want first? And then I'll tell you what I think would be fair.
I want more powers for now, and I can give up one power this shapeshifting, and I can't even more have hunt evil, but I want more powers.
And
And
I,
those powers, and those powers I want useful in battle.
and in return, I want two more victims on your list.
Ah, it's hard because Angkor don't want me to do so. Ask for something else, anything.
Well, anything?
Yes,
I want the pistol back.
which one?
That one that you love so ever muchly on your hip. The one with the magic bullets. I want it back until I say you can have it. Until I say you need it.
But I do what you asked me to have this gun, and now you take away. It's not fair.
You want more than what you've already got. To do that, to make it balance, I want to take something away.
But it's still not balanced because I have more guns.
Yes, and you can kill all the people in all the world that you want with all the guns that you've got. Just not that one.
You really don't have anything better to take away, like anything.
Ah, the other option is no deal at all, and I go back to my room.
I don't know. It feels still like bad idea, this deal.
Okay, well, you know where to find me. And he turns around and heads
Okay,
back towards his room. So that's the offer. He wants the magic pistol back for you to have more powers. But that's not all you
Or
had
adding
planned.
names to your list.
Or adding two names to your list. But that's not all that you were gonna do because Vanessa, you had another plan, right?
yeah, I'm going to Cassandra library when she's wake up, and I knock the wall before entering, if I can enter.
Perfect. So Cassandra, as you finish up, you're standing there with the book in your hand, uh, um, and you're interrupted as you were thinking your thoughts by a knock.
Come in.
And I come in, and I
Vanessa, yeah.
browse, and I browse bookshelves, and I said that, Cassandra, do you have any books about powers in ocean other than demons, like other sources of powers? And she's still browsing bookshelves.
Mm, there may be at least one book about mythologies, like stories about the old gods.
I like
I
that.
can't borrow it.
Sure, Just don't forget to bring it back this time, please.
Okay. And I take this book and
Okay.
I look at book it had
Actually do it.
of Cassandra and I wonder if Demon in head is kinda afraid seeing this book.
Just gonna do a quick roll here.
Like
It's a
he's
7 plus
some
3. That's a 10. Okay, yeah.
like it's some sort noise like cat on water when he sees this book.
You as you get back to your chambers, the you hear the door at the end of the hallway sort of click open, and you hear, "What are you doing?"
It's not your business because you don't want to be creative with this. So I'm looking for other source of power than you.
Wait. What? Other than me, no. Put the book down. Put the book down. Coming down the hallway towards you in your brain.
Why? You said that if I don't want this deal with pistols, then I don't have the radar. And I heard from Angkor yesterday that I have other sources of powers in the world.
Oh yeah. There's all sorts of powers you could work for, but there's a reason people cut deals with demons is because we're relatively speaking sane compared to the rest of the options.
I still want to know what other options are than you. Like, I have slowly enough of parties for you moods, teenagers. And she take a book and get back to her shrine and say, "Thank you, Cassandra."
And your demon in your head, you could see them frozen for a moment, and you realize I made the roll for you, a size up roll, and you made it. You ended up with your thing. You made it. You got the full blown success. So you realize part of the reason they don't want you to read that book is that if you find another way to do it, most of the other ways to do it involve destroying the demon that's currently there in some form or another. There's they're afraid they're going to get destroyed, not kicked out. It's not just like, oh, you're going to kick me out and use somebody else as your power source. They'll be destroyed in the process.
I told you that shapeshifting I don't have, I don't need to have. I
Yeah,
don't know. And I was still read this book thinking.
I can give you back the shape shifting, and they kind of get sucked back as you open the book. They kind of get sucked back, pushed back into their room this time, and the door slams. They didn't close it; it's slammed. And when you open the book and look down, before you can read a word, you see the picture, because it's one of those illuminated manuscripts with the shiny gold and metallic ink, and it's a picture of a leviathan. And you hear very distant, very deep laughter. Yes, an illuminated manuscript. Yes.
And I will think who is loved it and why.
You start to read the associated text, and it turns out that there are stories, myths, rumors, at least as many as there are about demonic possession as there is about gifts provided by leviathans for seemingly unfathomable reasons.
We continue to read.
Continue to read, and it says basically what it. I'm going to use the size up rule you did before. Uh, the it seems to be the case that if you agree to be sort of sponsored by a leviathan, almost anything is possible as far as powers go. However, there's always a price, but you never know what it is. It's not like a demon where there's a contract and you know what the price is. The price for taking the powers from the Leviathan are unknown.
And should we close book and reflect what to do?
Okay, so you've got the choice: a Leviathan or a demon. I love it. That's the perfect scene for right now.
And
Yeah.
I'm also curious if this demon reacted to Cassandra book dealing with demons or not.
Well, there's I was gonna say down at the end of the hall in your head, you hear the door slams open again, and you hear, "Oh yeah, I almost forgot. You earned this." And you hear out in the shrine itself, you hear thunk thunk thunk, and you look over, and there are three big bags of gemstones. You just gained three treasure for killing the guy. Every time you kill somebody that's on your list, you earn three treasure, right? And then the door slams again. Like it's like you made them clean their room, and they did it, and now they're really mad because they had to kind of pay you at the end.
Good.
And again, you hear that deep laugh from the book as the Leviathan. And that brings us around to Anchor. And I think yours probably works best if we wait till the next morning, right?
Yes, but he
You'll,
did at the
yep,
end of the last session. He was looking to have a conversation with Kitchisandra before they set out.
right.
So is it all
Yep,
right if I
yep,
have that
absolutely.
briefly?
Sneak that in there. Yep.
It's probably like after the conversation with Vanessa and the borrowing of the books, but he does knock on the captain's door and
Come in.
stoops under the door. um, says, "Evening, Captain."
Hello, Anchor. What can I do for you?
Says, "We have some decisions to make, don't we?"
Yes, we do. We
Says,
need to
"Deeper in
charter.
or turning back."
Yeah.
Um, be kind of, I know you know we have enough food to impress your parents and your worst critics on the flotilla. We have news and potential allies more than could be asked for of a sovereign mission, or of a maiden voyage. We've learned more already than any ship the flotilla has ever sent out.
All of that is true, but I still worry it's not enough, especially since if we go now, we leave behind the people of the Iron Lake and someone in the city is still making zombies.
And
And
they'll
I'm
be
still
left to take more and do more harm while we're gone. I agree with you. I just wanted to make sure that you wish to push deeper as well.
I kind of do because this Silver Lake just seems outlandish. And I'm curious as to what kind of being could be out there mining an island of iron. Um, Above board, when we made this world, Cassandra made two additions to it. One of them was where the demons were, and the second one was an ancient tech stash.
Yep.
Um, is that ancient tech stash anywhere near the Silver Lake?
Um, Amazingly, and I'm sitting here going, and then it hit me like a hammer. the very next page. Yes, yes, there is. At the mouth of the river, where your river, the river that you're in,
The
where
normal river and
yeah,
where the normal and the silver meet.
yeah, and where the Silver River breaks off. The Silver River is actually downstream from your river. Your river drains into it. At that point of the joining, there is a factory above board because we're still above board. It's the reason the water's silver, but it's also the perfect place to put your tech stash. So yes, ta-da, magic.
Yay.
You're not
Just
there yet,
hands.
but yes, it is there. Yeah.
Yeah, she would want to bring that up. Like, this old map corresponds to this location, and maybe we can find things from the old world that we can take back too, not just food.
Um, I'm agreed. I think, if there's any clue as to what has brought the zombies to this world, then there may be a clue as to how to make them leave. And I think it is a responsibility to try to find that. But I also know I can fly off rashly to face danger.
Yeah. I'll confess, even though you're magic and just by being on the ship you get repaired, I was kind of hoping to look for something to help you in some way, like better armor or something. I don't know. I
Kind
just
of,
worry about you.
he just touches her shoulder and he says, "I worry about you too."
So I suppose the next course of action is to sail to the Silver Lake.
In the morning, I'm going to speak to the Jarl of the town, take him to speak to the mayor, strike an accord between them so that they once again work together.
That is a good idea. I approve.
Um, if we are to trade with this place, both the things they can offer will be of great value.
I agree wholeheartedly.
I'll let you get some sleep then.
And you head off to find the appropriate folks and set up the meeting.
Hmm?
Okay. I think that what you're offering them is pretty reasonable, right? I mean, it's like, hey, work together, shake, sort of shake hands and quit being idiots.
Can you possibly think of anything you might need now that you're not buying iron axe heads people without a town that had no defenses?
Yes, yeah, exactly. So yeah, like I said, it's kind of a gimme sell, but you are overcoming a bit of history. So I'm going to ask you to make we're going to unmake dubious friends. So we're going to roll dubious friends, which is with polish. So 2d6 plus polish, and we'll see how much you can. We're looking at levels of success here.
Um, my polish is a 0, so this is just a flat roll.
Just a straight roll. Any bonds that you want to use? You can choose to use them after, actually, or before.
It's a 1-for-1 in bonds, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this is important enough that I do want to use some bonds for it. And I also refresh bonds when I take damage for somebody. So I'm going to use a bond with the ship itself. And that bond being that I think the ship has developed a reputation between the two of them as an ally and something that can be relied upon. So he's leaning into that, like, we've done for you.
Yep.
Like, now show to me that you're capable of like overcoming and working for the survival of not just yourself.
Yep.
And the other one he's burning is with Vanessa, as he's kind of like remembering sorry, not with Vanessa, with Cassandra. for the like many lessons in language and lexicon and everything like that she's taught, by virtue of being a chronicler, familiarity with different terms, both like legal and just sophistication. So I think
Yes.
it's like he's taking a moment to make sure that his words are carefully picked, and that he owes to Cassandra.
That makes perfect sense because there's, like I said, there's an initial resistance just based on the history, but you manage to just talk them through that. Every time they start winding themselves up, you talk them back down. You talk them back down. At its worst point, they're almost demanding a contract between the two of them, and you know that's not going to work. This has to be a handshake and honor, right? And you keep beating that into them and beating that into them and
Yeah, at that point it's when he kind of like, demons ask for contracts and hold themselves to words. What you require is faith in one another. So have faith.
perfect, and they just freeze because you've told them to be human, and at that point they reach out and shake hands, and you can see them start to talk about shared labor and working together and not having one community but as sort of a series of communities, because there's the fruit down on the coast and there's all the different positives in all the places that you guys have been. And by the time you walk away, they're building a community that goes from this longhouse all the way back down the river. You guys have come up all the way back to the ocean.
Um, if as
And
he's
that was
kind of
that was
like,
a roll of 10, by the way, for anybody. Yeah, that was.
yes,
So there's no, on a 7 to 9 they would have had a requirement, and that would have been the contract, but you beat that by using bonds. So,
um and he kind of like, as he's about to like step away, he says, a long time ago, the deals made between communities were not sealed by words or by handshakes, but by marriages.
yes.
You both have sons, you both have daughters. Maybe you'll find some that are eager to look outside of the community they've grown up in to find a partner.
And thus a new gene pool is mixed.
He doesn't know the science enough to know that that's probably a good thing on its own,
Yes,
but
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And again, there's no better way to, like you said, there's no better way to make a community than we're all married to somebody's sister, right? So, cool. I like that. So that's our downtime done. We're just over 1 hour in.
One
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Before we move on to another place, could we get some background information on the longboat Vikings?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you
Let's
can
have
say
let's
no.
have you
But
do it. So and investigate. Plus vinegar.
okay, I think my
2d6 plus
vinegar
vinegar.
is a 1. Let me see.
Oh wow, cheap viewers.
No, it's
Oh,
0.
I should get hundreds of cheap viewers. Let me click the link immediately.
It is a,
I know that makes less sense for people that can't actually see the chat and it's not posted, but yeah.
so it's 1 moment, please. I have to find now my.
Greedyasshole.com just tried to sell me followers. Let's just put it that way. It was
Where
not
is
their real. I
here
wouldn't.
it
I
is.
wouldn't dare give them. I wouldn't. I wouldn't give them the privilege of saying who actually they were. But
So 2d10 plus
2d
6.
2d6, right?
Yes, it's 11.
Okay, 11. Yeah. Oh, nice. So that is a massive success. So that means you get to ask 2 questions about what?
How did you came to be here? And why do you use Northern culture? Because
Yeah.
Ben is like all flumagest.
Mm-hmm.
Because they are calling themselves Vikings, they
We
are using the long ship,
yeah.
they are using the Medorical person who is the only one with a name that he kind of remembers from his own culture. So he's why? How? That's his questions.
It's not that complicated. I'm not going to do the whole scene, but yeah,
Yeah.
They used to be farmers in the surrounding area, and they were all sort of drawn together and connected together by the guy who found Sven screaming and howling at the moon in the bog. And Sven was sort of used as which is why their version of the culture is so messed up. It's 100 years old because Sven disappeared 100 years before you did. Plus, he's mad, and that's what they're basing their culture on.
And Ben would use the rest of his night to like explain the real culture to them, as we said the last episode.
Yeah.
Like,
I love. Yeah, sitting around the
gave
campfire
them
doing
the
stories, the classic old storytelling around the fire. Yep, beautiful. So
Thank
that
you
takes
for
us to
that.
the next morning because we
Yes.
gotta move.
Yes, of course. It's just
So-
that one small bit. Thank you very much for that.
Oh, I liked it. That was an enjoyable scene. It was worth the wait. But the next morning, everyone is aboard ship. Captain Cassandra, do you cast off? What is the orders of the day?
Full speed ahead
All right.
to the Silver Lake.
And you start to head into the morning sun up the river. Looking at the map, and it's been accurate for all this time up till now, it seems like it's probably sort of a day's travel to get there. You'll be getting there towards sundown if everything goes according to plan. And so you settle in, and the sun's beating on all the flowers, and it gives you time to, again, feed your gardens and maybe move some of the food around a little bit and redistribute it in a slightly safer manner now that you've made some room by giving some of it away. And sort of, paint the paint and polish the polish and make the ship, right? The crew's busy because it's moving again. Everybody's had their fill. They're kind of stretching and groaning a little bit because they overate last night. Maybe the guys are going a little slower up the rat lines than usual because they don't want to fall
Get
off.
the ship in the
Because they're
ship
a little
shape.
bit exactly because they're a little bit hungover, But everything is as soon as the ship starts to move, there's that suction of the whole world disappears except the ship, right? Just thud. It's just the ship and the people and the water and the motion and the sound.
Finally, something familiar.
Yes, it's all safely under control. And then around, I like this actually, right at noon, right at the sun is at its highest point in the sky, and it's fall, so it's past the hottest part of the summer, but it's still that part of the day where it's like right now it's probably t-shirt time. Later on tonight you'll probably have to put a sweater on, but not yet. But it's that high hot part of the day, and in the distance you see who would see it first. The lookout. That's what they're for. On the top of one of the masts, you hear, something ho. And you look up and they're just pointing forward up the river and looking very confused.
Investigate.
Yeah.
Anchor is just kind of looking to Vanessa and like offering a hand to like boost her all the way up to the crow's nest because he can do it with like a flick of his arm.
Yep.
So that and he trusts her to see something that One-Eyed Jim might miss.
Yeah, fair. So Vanessa, do you accept the lift?
Yes.
And he just sort of fires you up into the. I like the idea that you throw him up. She grabs a rope and you grab the other rope and pull, and it just kind of counterweights her right up into the rigging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, while we're sweeping this ship before arriving to this investigate, I will write all the chips to save we found at the beginning of campaign.
Yep.
Do not move around, Rube.
Okay. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. It's been sitting there since the beginning. So after the crow's
Ben
nest
doesn't
for
see
Vanessa,
anything. He
um,
6.
Ben already rolled, so we don't have to worry about that. Anchor and Cassandra, do you guys wish to do an investigate roll, or are you going to count on Vanessa? No answer.
I'm planning on basically, so I have the ability to use some of my luck to give her a bonus if she needs
okay.
it. So
gotcha. Right. Yeah. So you're waiting for that.
I'm not going to do the investigate myself. I'm just standing by to give an assist if needed.
Perfect. And Cassandra? Waiting to see what happens is a perfectly reasonable response. You are muted if you were talking.
Sorry, I was asking if that was plus vinegar.
Yeah, yes, yeah. Investigators plus vinegar. So also,
Yeah,
I'll
I
do.
got a 9.
Okay. Also a 9 with their plus. So, which is 1 success each, which gives you 1 question. Let's start with Cassandra. What one thing do you want to be able to know about what you're looking at?
What is the nature of this thing?
Okay, perfect.
Like,
It is the where it's happening is kind of an angled beach, maybe where a little stream has run in the past into this larger river, and there's sort of this delta of sand, and on it there's zombies dancing. There's a circle worn in the sand where they've been going around and around in circles, but that's not all. There's actually spokes going in, like where they've walked in towards the center. They never quite get there and walk back out, and then so it looks like a big wagon wheel with no hub. And there's zombies all over it, moving in and out in perfect unison and walking in circles. That's what you see. And then from up in the cheap seats, up in the crow's nest, Vanessa, as you land up there beside the guy that was up there already, he looks at you and just sort of gestures and says, "I didn't know what to call it." And you look down, you see the same thing, this wagon wheel of zombies dancing. But what you see that's additional is in the middle of it, there's a man with sort of like a hurdy-gurdy machine that he's got wrapped around his waist, and he's cranking the side of it, and it's making music, and he's got his head tilted back, and he is howling with laughter, and he's got a bottle in the other hand.
I will, I will yell to this bed. Who are you? And why you are doing this? And do you need help?
And he looks at the ship like the ship talked to him, and he get uh, howdy. um I ain't got a name. Who the hell are you? Cassandra, I want to give you a chance to respond at that moment too, because you hear this and you now see uh, this as well. The hurdy-gurdy playing drunk, making the zombies dance.
I am Captain Cassandra Pendleton of the Espoir. What in the sea's name are you doing?
Um, well, I got bored. There's a couple other dances I could make him do too if I change the settings. This thing's even got an automatic mode.
I doubt Cassandra's seen an instrument like this, so she
Yep.
doesn't know what to make of it.
Anybody else want to jump in to the
But
conversation?
that's
Anchor
but
looks at Cassandra and like, do you want me to assist him?
Uh, I think so. Those
Okay.
are all shufflers.
Yep, they are.
I don't think.
Yep.
Vanessa will check out her assassin list if he's not on
Nope.
this list.
Nope. He's not on it.
Ben would ask Captain Cassandra, can I speak?
Speak.
You strange man, how are you? How the hell are you doing this? What is that?
Uh,
But will the puppet entered by his true bed so he could think about this?
he
Yeah.
says, well, hang on a second. And you see flip a couple of switches on it, and he starts to crank a little faster, and the music changes, and it changes into much more like a march sound, and you get the response that Vanessa got with the drum, with the pattern. They all just sort of, wherever direction they're facing, they all just keep walking in a straight line in that direction. He sort of steps out of the way of the ones that were crossing in front of him, and he speeds it up, and they like speeding up the film, and they just take off. Some of them walk into the river and get washed away. They got no control over what they're doing. Right? Some of them just walk into trees, some of them walking into into rocks, but they all bugger off. And when they're all at a fair distance, he's finally ding 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 ding, and he lets go of the handle, and it winds itself down. Ding 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 ding.
I think in that time, Anchor's kind of gone off the side of the ship and like landed on the beach.
Yep.
Um, he says, "Are you from this settlement?"
I kind of am this settlement. It's just me out here. I don't hang around with them other folks. I don't like folks much. In fact, don't take this the wrong way, but he backs up a couple of steps, like you're in his personal space when you're still 10 yards away.
He says, "Do I look like folks?"
You look like a whole bunch of folks stuck together with sticks. Have you seen yourself?
He chuckles at that. He says, "I am probably overdue for a polishing."
And Vanessa, yeah, you meant this instrument or found?
Sorry, what was that?
Vanessa, we ask, do you bet this instrument or found?
Oh,
So,
did you make this instrument or found it?
Oh, thank you. Oh, this thing, I found it. It's got an automatic setting on it too. You just put a bag on this side over here, you fill it up with sand, you cut the hole in the bottom of the bag, the sand falls out. It goes for hours.
how you learned to use it?
Well, I had him. I used the build one function here, and I had him build me a real nice little building once. And then I got bored, and I don't like it inside because I had to take my shoes off. And then I had him build a wall just because I have him something to do, and then I make him dance from time to time. But
Did you make them build a weir down the river?
oh no, hell no, no, I'm down the river. There's people down there. I never went down there.
Where you found this instrument?
Oh, I stole it off a fella. He set it all up. He had him building. Now that you mention it, he was kind of a weird sort of thing. I didn't really give him a chance to get started, but they were piling shit up on the beach, and he put the string and the bag and the sand, and then he buggered off and went somewhere. And let's just say when he came back, his machine and his zombies was all gone.
You could show us a way to him?
Where I found it,
Yes, and where he is.
funny you should ask. I'm headed in that direction. Every once in a while, when I get bored like this here, I like to go to the city and see if I can't rescue a few folks. But it's a hell of a walk.
Would you like a ride?
On the boat with all them people? Hell no. But
May, may I see your instrument for a moment? There's a thing I am curious about. You mentioned sand.
and it's on sort of a monopod, right? It's got a flip out monopod, right? You can wear it as a belted thing like the drums, or it's got a little monopod. He takes it off and sticks it in the sand and backs away from it with his hands in the air as you approach.
So
Yeah.
many episodes ago, he had taken sand from the weir.
Yep.
And he wants to see if it's like the same finer consistency, which seemed like construction grade or something similar.
Exactly. It's like hourglass sand. Right? It's that fine and it flows like liquid. So
and is it the same sand that was in the tent?
It is. This is the machine that did that. So he stole this from the guy who built the weir.
Can you tell me more about the one you stole this from?
And he's funny looking little fella. Always yelling and screaming about straight lines and triangles and shit. I watched that fool spend 25 minutes trying to clean a rock.
Um, Yeah, and he's like looking back to the ship. I don't think he wants to yell all this information
Yeah.
to Cassandra and stuff like that,
Yeah.
but um, but he will say, Captain, there is something you might want to see.
Um, I said I didn't want to go on the ship, but you wouldn't have to have sort of like a little ship and a long piece of rope, would you?
Boats? Yes.
That was my idea. I wanted to
Okay. Yeah.
say that to Cassandra. That
I
So
Ben
I
would.
could use a damn good towing. That's all. Vanessa.
I remembered that when we were in the village that morning, man was drinking with guy who told him about guy with instruments, and I wondered if it's the same guy.
This is. It seems to check all the boxes. This is the sort of the wild man sort of person that people have talked about. He seems to be doing just fine out here. He's got all kinds of goodies. He's got control of any zombies that he wants control of with his little toy.
The I'd like to do it this size up on him,
Yes. Yep.
which is the one I usually roll a nice big 4 on. So
Yeah, the vinegar plus vinegar. Let's roll some dice.
yeah,
Well, you said
there's
it.
my free
There's a
experience.
4 minus 1 is 3. Yeah, there's your free experience point. Yeah, he appears to be exactly what he appears to be to you. A hermit, just sort of a happy hermit. But he did drop the line about every once in a while he goes to the city and sees if he can rescue people. Cassandra, we haven't heard from you in ages. You've had a chance to process this guy now.
I mean, sh- she's been secretly wanting an excuse to go all the way to the city.
Uh,
And, like, yeah, trying to get the Iron Lake people to cooperate with everyone downstream. Kind of important, but
mhm.
not as important as this necromancer engineer
Yes.
person
Yep.
that is the root of many, many problems on this island.
Yes.
And if we can get rid of him, we can focus on the demons sort of tucked away in their little mountain thingy.
So
So,
yeah, your the balance between going to the Silver Lake and going to the city is starting to sway towards just going straight to the city.
yep, the
Mm-hmm.
tech stash can wait.
Yeah.
The
Well, I
less
mean, you're
zombies we
going right.
have.
Well, you don't know this, but you're gonna go right past it. You're gonna at least get the tech
Oh, it's that
stash.
close to our part of the
It's
river.
literally it's right where the two rivers meet, where you the river that you're
Okay.
on and the Silver River meet. It's right there. So
Okay.
you wouldn't know that, but yeah, you're gonna go right by it above table. But yeah, so without that knowledge, you're looking like just let's just keep going straight. We'll just leave the Silver Lake behind, maybe.
Yep, give our boisterous little friend a tow
Yep,
in one of the lifeboats or whatever.
yep, yep. Anchor, you look like you're muted.
yeah, Anchor will. It says we can offer more than a tow. We can offer a fair meal, a bottle of wine. If you would tell us what you know of the city and of the man you stole that from.
And he, like I said, you're kind of on a beach, and he just grabs a stick and he says, "Oh yeah, I'll show you that the river's here and the city's here, and there's all these towers." And he starts like it's like watching a kid drawing on the beach. Right? You can see what he's drawing, and it's a defended ringed city. But he's the walls are broken here and here because them zombies they're pretty good at building with sticks, but they ain't shit with bricks. No mortar, so whatever they build, it just falls over and crushes a bunch of them, and on and on. So he has 3 or 4 ways into the city. Beyond that, though, once you're inside, damn, you gotta be safe unless you got one of these here. And he taps the hurdy-gurdy, and he says, even then, it don't stop the bolters. And he says, you ever tried to crank one of these some bitches and fight a bolter at the same time? He's, I ain't even left-handed. Now he gets distracted a lot. He's been there a bunch of times. And once you get past the broken down walls and all the zombies of both varieties that are stirred up all the time. They never stopped in the city. There is a place that he keeps calling the Pens. Uh, used to be a zoo, and that's where they got all the people. And sometimes, if you're sneaky as fuck, you can get in and open one or two of the cages. But then the sons of bitches want to hug you and everything. You said, Christ, I told you, I open it up and then you count 30 before you, and then I'm gone.
What about the man?
Oh, that one's a piece of work. It's all straight lines. When I seen him, he was using this to make 1,000 damn zombies march. 500 in front of him, 500 behind him. They weren't like an army. They were making everything flat. They were picking up all the damn leaves and making the road straight. And it was just crazy. Like watching a whole camp full of people all moving at once.
Um,
Hmm.
you've earned your meal and your wine.
Cool. Can I have them in the rowboat?
Of course.
Yes.
Damn, there's a lot of you. And he's just backing away from the sheer. The more of you there are, the further away he has to be. Like, yeah,
And
he likes people and everything. He doesn't like people.
yet, Anchor will say, if you would like to be on the ship but away from the people on the bottommost level, where the bilges are, no one goes down there unless they're pumping water out.
But then all you buggers would be above me.
It was just an offer.
Well, thank you. You're a real thoughtful lad. Can I
Um,
ask you why the hell you come over here and stop to talk to me?
you appeared to be in trouble.
You got a strange definition of trouble.
You were surrounded by zombies. For most people, that's trouble.
Yeah, I guess we see it from the outside. That's fair enough. So about that food,
Um, says, get in the rowboat and I'll tow you to the boat.
he just just sits in there like a king, just at the back of the boat. He's like, yes. As soon as people are away from him, he is hyper comfortable. Anybody else want to talk to him before we put him on a 100-foot rope behind the
No,
spar? No.
but I want to be sure this city is the same city with this creator of zombies or different city.
It's the same. It's the same city, and yeah, I'll just add this to the conversation without Vanessa having to ask. He One of the things he blurts out is, uh, "Last time I was in the city was just a couple of weeks ago, and he weren't around. I mean, you can tell when he's around because all the zombies are marching up and down the streets, but they were just milling about. Must be on one of his missions."
Vanessa will go to Cassandra. Have I had word with you?
What is it, Vanessa?
In this city and in this lake we will cross. I have two targets. You sent me to say you before about this, so I'm telling you that I will have targets.
Well, we're headed for the city. Where are you going first?
We see how close we be like. If we like cross in between way to city, then the lake. If not, then city.
Um, if I remember correctly, the lake was roughly a day from this position.
About half a day now. It was a full day to get there, and you
Oh,
guys, it's noon now, so yeah.
Can you ping on the map where the city is?
It's basically in the. Hang on a second. it is roughly. Oops. Ping. There.
Okay.
So in that coffee stain, the map's got a place that was washed out for somebody spilled something on it. It's in that place, basically where those two dots are, is what it looks
Okay.
like. Ben? Yeah.
A question. Ben would yell to the guy, the hardy-gardy guy.
Yeah.
He would yell, do you, so this zombie person, he kidnaps living people and turns them into zombies and then uses the zombies to clean up the city?
Yep. Sounds kind of crazy, doesn't it?
Not only crazy evil, he needs to be killed.
He needs to be something, that's for damn sure.
And hearing that, Ben would go to Cassandra and he would say, Captain, I didn't want to overwhelm you yesterday, and I talked it with Mr. Anchor and Miss Vanessa, and I was thinking before we go to the city, maybe I could go back to the demon cave too, because I think we are killing this guy anyway, so it could be advantageous to check what was the deal that they were
No.
offering us. Okay. Mr. Anchor said the same, but you ask me to talk to you every time. So I'm talking to you, you said no, I'm accepting your no. Thank you, Captain. Thank you for your time. And he
Thank you
would
for
go
your
away.
honesty, Mr. Drowned.
Character development moment. Ben was responsible.
Yeah.
Ben
And he accepted
adulted.
the no. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry
And-
for cutting you off, but Cassandra
No,
has had
that
enough
was
with
great.
demons at
That
this
was
point.
amazing.
Yeah.
Don't
that's
be
perfect.
sorry. That was amazing. I love it. Just
Vanessa
flat
will,
out no.
Vanessa will ask, so I can kill those targets?
Cassandra, I mean, you know who one of the targets is, the person who's doing this. So that folks seem to be, at this point at least, he's one of the targets. But the one on the island nobody knows anything about other than it's a target, right? Oh, sorry, the one in the lake.
The only thing I know is one of your compasses is pointing to the city anyway. One can hope it's pointed at the one responsible for the zombies. Just some food for thought.
Yeah.
And
Yes, Mr. Anchor?
Anchor's kind of, I'm assuming he's approaching after this because I didn't want
Yep.
to like step on and assume he's going to overhear Vanessa talking about her assassination targets.
Yep.
So I was deliberately giving some space about that because Vanessa was
Yep.
making a point to not do it in front of Anchor.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
But he's going to approach with like the sand and kind of give the information to everybody as far as like what he's learned. That like,
Yes.
you know, this instrument was definitely created. It's the same thing that was at the weir, which was made. So and he's going to look in the direction of the Silver Lake and be like, we're a few hours from there, and if there is more to be learned that might provide an advantage in the city will be extremely dangerous. And he looks to Cassandra and he says, you said that there might be something of advantage near there, and we may need every advantage we can get.
That is true. But looking at this old map, I can't tell if it's in the lake or on the way to the lake or it's in this nebulous area in between where this river connects. Like it's like a junction between the city, the Silver Lake, and here. So maybe we should reach that crossroads, so to speak.
Hearing
see if
that,
my
Ben
see if
would
my stash is there. Or
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. Ben?
hearing that Ben would yell to the hurdy-gurdy guy, "Do you know how far the Silver Lake is?"
I can tell you how
Uh,
long it takes to walk there, but this ship's a hell of a lot faster than that. You kind of
uh,
gotta go round shit on land, like,
yeah, okay, tell us what you know. We need a ballpark.
what I know is it's right up that way, and he points up the river.
Um,
I never had to tell
Thank
nobody no
you.
distances before. That's just me. Damn, people talk a lot. Yeah.
Here's your answer.
Anchor? Yeah.
yeah. So if that's we can take a rowboat. We could walk that way. We can take the ship up that way. If there's a juncture that leads to the city anyway, sounds like a juncture we're going to be heading close to.
full speed ahead. Let's just go.
Capitan, I could try to turn into animal and scout it to some flying thing, if you wish.
I will permit this. Uh, a flying scout would be most beneficial to making a decision right now.
And Ben would try to turn into an animal, and it
Yep.
doesn't work.
That is correct, because,
And he's
yep, your
and
demon
he's
took
like,
his price for your saying no. He
yeah.
took away one of your abilities.
And he's like, why doesn't it work? What happened?
And you just sort of get a crackle in the back of your head, and you're lucky you've got any powers left at all.
What do you want to give it back?
How about a little success?
Uh, I had a success while talking to the Jarl.
Yes? And for
And
that, you haven't got a splitting headache 24 hours a day.
that's nice. So, I'm sorry, Capitan. I guess my demon said I don't get that power anymore. So, sorry.
We will make do, Mr. Drowned. We always do.
Yes.
Mr. Drowned, I love it.
Let me know
Vanessa
when
will,
you're.
Vanessa will say, maybe I can go on the high tree and look around on tree. And I used my hook.
Yep. So you zip up on the high. As the ship makes its way forwards, you can start to see the sun is setting in the west. And it's this sort of, it's slightly northwest of you, where the Silver Lake is. And there's a flicker. It's almost like a heat shimmer above it, but it's not a heat shimmer. It's the reflection off the silver water. It is actually reflective. It's like silver. As you get closer, you can see that this river flows into that river. And as you come around into an oxbow bend in the lake, or in the river, and Vanessa, you can see it just over the trees, just before everybody else. There's an old building that sits at the junction between the two rivers. And it's got a big water wheel that sits in the river that you're in that is still turning. But the building itself is definitely from the before times. It's Anchor, your home and garden TV. It's about the size and rough shape of a large greenhouse, like a commercial greenhouse. It's barn sized, but it's not built out of wood. It's not built out of bricks. It's a weird white painted walls with small rectangular windows and somehow a metal roof. It looks like a warehouse. It's just a big, long, plain white building. From inside, you can hear sparkings and bangings and crunchings of machinery flowing. and a vapor, a thick gray vapor, oozes out through the windows and the open doors. And from it, water flows in to it and out of it on the other side, bubbling down a series of like a reverse like a
Lock?
nope, not quite. When a river gets to the ocean, it spreads out and forms a
Delta?
delta. There it is. It's like a reverse delta. It's all these little streams of silver flowing down this angled bank like a veil into a river at the bottom, which flows off into the distance. You can see this silver material is floating on the water. There's water underneath it, but this factory is stuck and it's just pounding out this silver material. Ben?
I got an idea. Could I try to roll a bargain roll? So it's my bonds with the demon. I think I got 3 and 1 is born, so 2
Mm-hmm.
plus polish
Yeah.
to force him to give me a deal to get my powers back.
To get the transformation power back, the one?
Yep.
Uh,
I can read it out for you.
yep. Yes,
When you,
you can,
bargain with
but-
your demon for something, spend a bond with them and roll plus polish.
Yep.
On a hit, the demon will offer you a deal with a catch and demand something from the list of sacrifices. Take
Yep.
the deal or leave it. On a 10 plus, you have some wiggle room. Bargain to remove a catch or lessen the sacrifice.
Yep.
On a minus, take the devil, or if you already have it, compelled to take a terrible bargain he offers.
Yeah. So, yes, but I'm going to make you wait till next week to do it because I want to paint
No
this
problem.
picture and give everybody a chance
Yes.
to respond. So I love that because that's Ben's plan. Is like, oh shit, I need to cut a deal.
Yes. Now,
Um,
now
I wanna
plan for
do-
everybody else.
Yeah, I want to do
Thank
Vanessa next because you're up in the crow's nest looking down.
I would
Seeing
really
that,
like,
how do you respond?
I would really like to go to this water sliver and took some bottles and investigate why this water is sliver, if it is sliver raw like traveling or something else.
Yeah.
I just
Perfect.
investigate.
Just have a figure out what the hell it is. I love it, Vanessa the scientist. Anchor, because I want to ask the captain last. Always ask the captain last.
I think Anchor's up on the bow.
Yep.
You know, like he's not going towards it without the captain's permission. No,
I'm the
he's
king of
not,
the world.
not doing that. He's just he's kind of like, you know, prepared to do the
Drowning
jump and
Leonardo
whatnot if need
DiCaprio.
be.
Sorry.
Yeah, he's just up there kind of like, you know, looking back to Cassandra, like if she wants him to go ahead, you know, what the air that's around it looking as poisoned and sick as it is, he knows he doesn't need to breathe,
Yes.
you know, and I think being an automaton, the idea that like a factory would harm him doesn't really
Sure.
click.
Yeah. Plus the ship's
So-
right there, right? If you can make it 5 steps, you're okay, right? As long as you stay near the ship. Okay.
So yeah, he's just biding his time. He's waiting for a go order.
Perfect. So, Captain Cassandra, you look around, you see Ben starting to mutter to himself. You see Vanessa preparing vials and bottles and tinctures and maybe wrapping a rag around their face, you know, to protect themselves. And you see Anchor right up at the front, just in full full pit bull mode, right? Or pibble mode. Just, I will protect. You know, but you can also see that he's clearly offering to go and investigate. What do you do with all of that information?
No more running off on our own. We stick together. We don't know what's in here. We don't know what technologies are still clearly functioning.
But as you say that, you realize this is that place, that mythical place that you saw, that you've heard about. There must be old tech in here. Look at this place. It's even built out of old tech. This is going to be a key moment, Cassandra. If you can find this and make this shit work, you are not only going to be successful on this mission, you will be a legend. Your parents will have no choice but to call you what you are, a hero and a champion. If you can get it out of there and make it work.
And make it out alive to
And
write the history books.
and get back alive. That is a key element to this. Every time you guys decide to continue on, you've got no way of sending a message, right? You can't, you can't send Morse code back to base. We've discovered this. We've discovered this. If you guys die now, the mystery remains a mystery. No one will ever know. You'll just be another lost expedition. Yeah.
The most I can do is to like write a journal with all the observations and everything that have uh,
And
occurred
leave it with
along this
someone,
way,
or leave it
and
in the
leave it
ship.
behind on the ship, and
Yeah.
leave orders for like if we do not return within this amount of time, turn back,
Well, thank you for
go back home.
thank you for the perfect way to end this, because you have a journal. It was given to you by Vanessa, and
Yep.
in my head, you sit down in that your sort of office, the library office at the back of the ship, because that's where all the windows are, right? You
Mm-hmm.
sit down looking out over this place that you're about to go and investigate, and you start to write, and you just fill page after page after page, which all with all that has come before, trying to be dispassionate about it and explain what's happened in reasonable terms, and taking responsibility and being honest, and all of those difficult things that make writing reports so hard to do.
I'll even use a bottle of my Leviathan ink if I have to.
To make it,
There, I
yeah,
do
I
not
love it.
want this ink to run.
Yeah.
It cannot run.
Oh, and thus begins a very compressed version of your magnum opus, right?
Um,
The how to zombie. It's not just like you made the book about fighting them, right? But like you said, this is a character that normally this would take, sort of 40 sessions to write a
yeah.
magnum opus. But I want the character to get as close to that as we can. So this would could does do I have
Like
your
it can
permission to
be
use this? The beginnings, at least. Yeah.
the beginnings of a suspicion that these zombies are the result of one person's making.
Yes.
And these are the ways that it can be counteracted. This strange instrument plus a a drum that she will make schematics of,
Yep.
very precise
Yep.
schematics.
How
Like
we defeated the zombies of Central Island. I love it. And that is where we're going to slowly, instead, I always said we drop the curtain. Today, I think we just do a fade to black, a real slow, long fade to black as the sun goes down. Because, I mean, I'm going to presume you're not going to go into this place in the middle of the night, but maybe you are. But that's
hell
for
no.
next week. As the sun goes down, we
Like
pan
she's
out
writing the book,
to the captain.
the camera pans, it flies away from the library out the window, and it looks out over the ship, and in the distance is this factory just going with its all of its fumes just going into the darkening sky.
Oh, chef's kisses everywhere. Kisses? I can't even speak. That's so good. That is the perfect flyaway ending scene. Thank you for that. Whew. Wow. Downtime is fun. The compression, I really enjoyed the high speed compression of how we got that done. So, thank you to everybody
Thank you.
for tonight's game.
Thank you. It was great.
We saw character growth from Ben. That was really good. He adulted all over the place. Vanessa spilled secrets to Cassandra. Look, here's where I got to go kill the two people. And that's as close as I've ever heard Vanessa come to asking for permission to do anything ever. So, again, huge sort of steps. You both
And
responded correctly to the captain's speech, right? So, yes, thank you.
fun was also with deal that I
Mhm.
took a book and
Yep.
read.
Yep.
It's also above the table. Vanessa can just try to ask Anchor if he would be okay if she got two more names on her list because she kind of is trying to read Anchor's mind on that instead of asking him.
Yeah, I like the where Vanessa's character is going. I think I've got an idea of the decision they're going to make, but I'm prepared either way. They can stay with the demon or choose to go to the Leviathan. I'm good either way. But thank you for that, and thank you, Deku, as always, for the captain. I love the way you played this captain. It's a perfect example of a first time captain. You're trying to make sure everything goes okay without micromanaging, and it's just like the do I do this, do I do that, is this my worry, is that my worry, how do I delegate? It is a spectacular representation of a new leader thrust into a job they didn't want, and I'm loving watching the confidence build in Cassandra. They used to ask if they could do things, now they tell people to do things. Soon they'll be
And
ordering people to do things.
and she knows when to
Absolutely
say
great.
no.
Yes.
Just no. It
So
was great.
all for
Um,
and yeah, go ahead.
I'm just sort of trying to ride the waves of chaos that
Yes,
everyone else is
that
throwing
yes,
at me.
that is what successful captains do: is make it look like they're in control. It's a lot of I meant to do that, but I wanted to say one more thank you for the group of you as a group of players. First of all, the sharing of the space and the sharing of the time and the sharing of scenes is beautiful. The It's really a difficult skill that not doesn't get talked about enough. And sharing a table is a hard thing to do, and you guys are absolute stars at it. But what I really wanted to mention is you did the thing. People say you can't win D&D, and I know this isn't D&D, but you won it anyway by becoming a team. Right? That's the behind all of success in gaming, all the heroes. I don't care how many times you kill Tiamat. I don't care how many times you save the world. If you did it as four assholes, or three assholes and somebody that doesn't care or whatever, right? That's not as impressive as when you Captain America that shit and hold up your shield and take the beating for your teammate and throw yourself in the line of fire so somebody else doesn't have to, and play to each other's strengths and trust each other and fight for each other without any questions. That's the real victory, no matter what happens in this story. And you guys are there already. It's time for the slow motion. The next time there's a fight, you get a slow motion entry. Like you get the credits rolling over top of you and then you get to go for shawarma after it's over, because you guys are that level of team, and that to me is a huge success. Ha!
I agree, but you are also part of this
Oh,
team,
I'll,
Kevin.
I'll, I'll take that. Yeah.
It's a
Oh, yeah.
very team focused game,
Yep.
the most team
Well,
focused game I ever play, and it's like a lot of years and a lot of games. And I agree. I'm very impressed with everyone and with myself and with this whole crew and with this whole game that it's so team focused.
I need a better fiddle toy, because I've been using that pen all day and it wasn't very good, and now I got ink all over myself.
This is great.
But two more thank yous to go. Thank you to everybody. There wasn't a lot of you in chat tonight live, but I do appreciate it, especially because considering one of you had a birthday just recently. Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday.
happy birthday, happy birthday,
Happy
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 birthday.
birthday.
She's
And
gonna know I ratted her out.
well, I could tell by the way they were typing. It had nothing to do with you, except you just threw yourself on the fire. But anyway, thank you to everybody that watches on the VOD, because there is a lot of you. And also thank you to everybody that watches on YouTube, including Deku Shrub Lily, to use your full name again, because you watch all of them, not just the ones you're in, but all of them. And I wanted to take a moment to say thank you for that, because there's 640 something odd videos in there, averaging 2 hours long. So pop over to the YouTube and check it out. If you just saw us there and you made it all the way to here, please hit the like and subscribe buttons, because obviously you liked and you should subscribe to see more. We are currently doing 5 nights a week, 5 games a week, 10 hours of content every week, barring scheduling issues. But that's the target. It's a lot of work, and a lot of people put a lot of time into it. Some people are in 3 and 4 games. We get a whole bunch of people in this Discord that are in more games than me, and it's technically my Discord. So I couldn't be happier. It's one of the things we do that I don't know many, if any, other streams do. The proudest thing, one of the many things for which I am proud of this, is that we have many GMs. 4 at the moment. 5 games, 4 GMs. Not many people are doing that. So thank you to everybody that makes Dirty 20 Gaming what it is, and that's everybody. If you want to be part of that, join us. Come to the Discord. Become one of the peoples. Become loved. Become supported. We'll make you feel special because you damn well are. And with that, that's me being kind to people. And that's what it's kind of all about. So until next time, be kind to all the people that you've got the energy to be kind to. And at the very least, please be nice to each other. Good night.
Bye.
Good day, good night.
Good night.
Bye bye.